Forest alone, the trees and rocks breathe on their own.
Here again, and I'm here
Spirits and murder,
a
the one-eyed
found
hearse.
footage movie. Yeah.
Boston Mills is a town with a curse.
June
Can they shut up?
9. A lot of people got
House in the woods, a giggling ghost.
Basically, it gets a 4 point.
Survive the night, to your friends you will boast.
Some
And
really
if you
like
see
it,
Hattie's
some
glowing gown,
like
you'll die alone in hell town.
Now it's directed. It's from 2008 and directed by a man named T. Michael Conway. Yeah. Now, basically, actors. You have the synopsis of the story. Is you've got Boston, the Boston Mill or Mills. Sorry, the Boston Mills Five, which is a name of five friends that are videotaping their mischiefs and their, a little bit like they want to be like Jackass, but more uh, making people angry and destroying public stuff, breaking into places where they shouldn't. And at some point, these five friends, they find this town called Milltown, and they go there and so it starts off, they have a minivan and they go there, and there is a moment when you have this, I mean, they're in the boonies, walking the boonies, and you have this I think the most I mean, okay, the most asinine asshole of the group is called Robert Burrows. Okay, the guy. He has that, one of those caps on, that can stretch over your ears. He's the biggest asshole of the group. They're all assholes, but to a certain degree. But this one, and he hears this couple fucking in the tall grass, and then yay, give it to her, and he he throws in the rock in his ass cheeks. I mean, okay, and then they run away, of course. Things like that. They're pretty rude and yeah. But eventually, they find they go into and the reason why they're coming back is because there are two reasons why they're coming back, because they're in this patch of small trees, and they are littering and shit, and eventually they find a, a patch of wheat plants, and of course they're taking it with them, but it's a lot. Then the, the guy is called a stranger, but I call him the friendly stranger because he's really friendly, a stranger, but there's something off with him. He's played by an actor named James L. Edwards, and he's the only actor in this movie, probably the most expensive actor in this movie, who has a big cinematographer. I mean, he has the biggest resume, as you will. He also played in a found footage movie that's okay called Dwellers, a little bit like The Tunnel, uh, the Australian found footage Dwellers. It's kinda. Also a team, I think, of reporters going into the sewers, and for because they believe there's something going on with the homeless people that are living there. That's dwellers. Now, in multiple, mainly horror movies, these really, really low budget horror movies. Now, okay, all these kids have nicknames. Most of them. One is called Derek Bogman. He is called Boggs, but he has a sister, and she just has Lise Bogman. So he's the brother of Lise. Then you got, like I said, the biggest asshole, Robert Burrows. I think his nickname was Salty or something. Yeah. Then you got Birdie. He's Alan Alberts was his name. He's like the geek of the group. He has this little curly like fro, brown hair, but he always has this old Discman, or what is called, uh, over his head. So and he always looks high, and he's always or sleeping or high, and he's always sitting in the back of the van. And then you have Jennifer Naughton, and that's Burrow's girlfriend. So these are the five kids that are doing the shitty things. And apparently it's based on a true story and some urban legends. Okay, so the reason why they're coming back are for the weed, but also there's later on in the movie a tuning show of cars tuned, and they know one guy, this red-haired, ginger-haired guy who's older than them, but still hangs out with them. He's also an ex mischief maker called Cello, I think, and he's talking. Oh yeah, Helltown. Yeah, you should watch out. They're weird. They're weird out there. They're really weird. He said he starts. No, there's a song and he's starting to say the lines, but he's not singing it, but saying the lines. If you see Mad Hattie, you die, and go in. Something like there was also something of a black hearse. If you see that, a Mad Hattie was apparently a woman who killed her kids with an axe. Well, she thought they were missing. uh, that hence Mad Hattie, and he says the people there are just weird. There's also a bus, a school bus where there are a lot of kids apparently all killed in. Were all killed, and you should still see the ghosts of the kids in there, and multiple urban legends, but weird ones. But eventually they say, "Oh, we got this weed," and he calls Salty in his car, and they smoking some of the weed, and he said, "Great man," he said, "Cool man. If you wanted to get rid of it, I'll find somebody for you." Eventually, they go. Salty also is. So Burroughs is also now interested in the fact that Milltown is called Helltown because of these legends, and he wants because Cello apparently went into those woods with a few friends, also do mischief, but he found the bus, and there was a moment that he said, I felt like somebody was following us or something, and then we just ran away. Also, don't get caught by the cops there. They're fucking, yeah. That's what he said. So that's basically uh, the plot of the movie. So you got this the stranger the friendly stranger. He's coming to them and he's asking, "Hey boys, hey guys," weird, like a Canadian accent actually. "What are you doing? Hey, I am coming here because you're on Mrs. Something Something's land." And she wanted to call the police, but I said, "No, no, I'll take a look for you." And they are saying, "Oh, we're looking for a missing pup. It's a Shih Tzu." And he said, and he looks that they littered. He picks it up. "Okay, listen. When you find your pup, best go on your way." And then he goes away. "Good luck finding your pup." Then he slowly goes away, and he's friendly, but there's something off with him. He's wearing this round hat. He looks like he's from the 50s or 60s, and yeah, the clothes he's wearing. The town itself looks old. So that's the beginning of the shit that's gonna happen. Positives, okay? Positives are, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it because what I liked was the fact that the town, Milltown, was actually pretty creepy. You had all these people that are always watching, and there's this moment when they go back at night for the marijuana to get weed plants, so they wouldn't get they wouldn't get caught again like before. And now Jennifer is holding a camera with light vision.
What?
You guys, wait.
What?
Oh my god, is that a person?
No, that would be a tree, Reese.
No, you guys. You guys, there's somebody here.
No, there's not, Lisa.
Yes, you guys.
Lisa, stop fucking around.
You guys, wait up. You guys, wait.
What? Get right at the same place you are.
You guys, we gotta go.
Shit, Lisa!
You guys, wait up. You guys.
Stop freaking out!
You guys, wait.
What's up with the tree?
Wait.
Eyes burned up, lighted up, and then they're all, "Oh, get the hell out of here! I'm getting the hell out of here! Come on, come on, come on!" And then she sees another guy in the woods looking at them, and another one, and they're getting the hell out of there. Okay. There's also a moment that there's this old lady on a an empty cornfield maybe, and you see her just for a second standing there, and then she comes closer and then back to the fields. Also, Mad Hattie she also put toys in small picket trees on the road, and you find those trees with toys in. So I got the feeling they found Mad Hattie. Yeah. It's kind of the director says Mad Hattie doesn't she's dead, but it looked like maybe a ghost or something, but an old hag, okay, and with the toys, okay. And it was creepy. It was creepy. And then another creepy moment was this. I think Box asks Salty, because he has the biggest mouth of them all, and okay, to go in a house where they previously were just skulking around, and they saw at night, and then they saw one guy in this again like Amish old style clothes, looking at him, and then he looked away, look, and then there's another guy next to him, same clothes, looking at him, just like. And Box, because Salty has a big mouth, and Boggs has a love-hate relationship with him because Bo- that okay so Burroughs is the biggest asshole. He's the one who always wants to go to Milltown. Okay, he actually is spraying Helltown on the. There are so many indicators that you shouldn't go there anymore. They see the black hearse going by. They go to the um, school bus, and there is actually a kid in there. I mean, they're doing all that shit. Now, now Salty goes in in the house, and then talk to each other. I think one of them is in the house, so they are easily already known. And is he up there? All these pictures of these five friends of the Boston Mills Five that these people took, and eventually out of there. You know, there's and there's okay, so and all there's also this moment when he goes into a diner as a school project, and he's asking about Milltown and its history against to the waitress, and she said the guy in front of her knows all about it, and apparently it was a Milltown that closed, and then the town got a little bit poor, and this and this and that. And then he says, yeah, that's all boring. Why do they call it Helltown? And the waitress, the guy immediately turns around. The guy next to him is getting like angry, and they saying, chill. And the waitress says, that's what it is. Well, it's June 7th, so it's June 7th, so. And then she goes away, and then he's, why, what's so important? And the movie's called June 9. So it's those things that I liked, the omens, and you always saw on the camera like June 5, June 6th, June 7th, June 8th, and at that moment basically Lise dropped her purse, and in that purse was a wallet with her mom credit cards, ID, and she doesn't want to go back there. She's actually not she's not an asshole or a bitch. She's actually one of the more friendly kids, you know. And the girls weren't actually the problem. They were mainly the guys. Birdie was basically the slave, where they, you know, like Salty said, he's my whore. And Boggs was mainly the driver of the minivan. He had the minivan. And Boggs was really concerned about Lise. And then he's saying, and then Burroughs comes in, Salty, and he's immediately laughing again. He can't take things seriously. And and there was the argument that he had with Boggs in the diner when Boggs says, "Oh, I'll bet you $50. Go in that house and bring me back a pillow." Okay, chief, but he said something about, you went to Canada, right? And you didn't tell your best friends about it. I bet you got some Canadian poo-tang there, and he keeps Even when the guy doesn't like talking about, you see his face, and then he got angry, saying, "I bet you that," like that. Okay. Of course, they have to go. They go back to find that purse now with two cars, and I'm not, and that's where I'm gonna stop. Also, now, like I said, the positives are the people, these omens, the creepy town. Um, the director also really didn't go out of his way to make these kids very unlikable. So you hope they all die, except maybe. So he did a good job, but at the same time, um, there is a very gory ending. And that's also what I liked about it. And that's lightly based on a true story. And then the negatives are basically Box and Burrows. First of all, these are the biggest assholes. Now, Box didn't went to Canada. That's why he was frustrated. And I think Salty knew this. He wanted to go. He wanted to do a mega prank, thinking his family went to Canada, while it wasn't. They were gone, and they wanted, or his family, or he. I'm not really sure because he was gone, but he was just somewhere else, and apparently he came back through the woods of Milltown. That's how they know about Milltown. And he said he felt he was chased by what he's actually said, a weird entity. Okay? And now none of them are saying this to each other. Okay? So the box knows that those woods of Milltown are, there's something there, saw something there, and Salty doesn't even say anything about the pictures that are being taken from them from the start they entered the town. So that's so stupid. So except being assholes, mischief makers, they're also stupid. uh, Basically, he deserved to die, and you can already guess the gory ending that I'm saying. Probably. Okay, that was my biggest complaints. The acting of mischief makers, yeah, was okay because they're mischief makers, but especially that Burroughs kid, to a point that, oh, asshole, you know what's going on there. They're following you. He, yeah, okay, yeah. There's there's also that's also a positive thing. They get this through a microphone. They're these two guys with nicknames. You think it's cops, but it's actually, I think, townsmen, and they're looking for someone, and I think it's for the Boston Five, Boston Mills Five, and there are multiple times that they get through their radio this girl's voice, this little girl's voice. It's happening again, and then she says, "It's gonna happen. I see you." And then what? And when they're in the van, and then at some point when they and she says something else, but there's a big two bug. Yeah, I'm already spoiling too much. She says something else, and that was creepy. So, like I said, there's the town itself and the people there were creepy, and you had great cannon fodder because you want them to die. At least three of them want them to die. The guys mainly. So that being said, I give it a 5.5. I know that's a little bit high, but I've seen it 3 times now, and always still like it. So, oh, and the true story is it's not with five kids being missing. It's basically about. I wrote it down. It's basically the town was closed and they called it Helltown at some point. Yeah, and the domain of the town's domain was claimed by something that was called Kruya fuck Hoga Valley, a sort national park. Don't know, and the people in town, they came back at night with put graffiti on the walls, basically saying, "Now we know how the Indians felt." You know, when the American army uh, basically, the Indians, the Native Americans drew the Americans away, the real Americans basically, and that's what they are meaning. So, and that it's a spook town now, and yeah, something like that. And there are a few urban legends too, and but in the movie there are urban legends too, but those urban legends aren't so unreal. So that being said, watch this one, give it a look, and maybe it'll surprise you. Okay? See you later.